There's a Star Wars movie so catastrophically bad that George Lucas himself tried to bury it. Not metaphorically, literally. He spent decades attempting to erase every copy from existence. Disney won't acknowledge it. It's never been released on any official streaming platform, and if you somehow manage to find a bootleg copy online, you'll understand within the first 10 minutes why Lucasfilm's legal team works overtime to scrub it from the internet. I'm not talking about The Phantom Menace. I'm not talking about The Last Jedi. I'm talking about a film so universally reviled that Harrison Ford said he would rather be stuck in carbonite for real than watch it again. It's 1978. Star Wars had just become the highest-grossing film of all time. CBS, desperate to capitalize on the mania, approached George Lucas with an offer: a 2-hour holiday television special. Lucas, exhausted from the original film and deep into Empire Strikes Back pre-production, made a decision he'd regret forever. He said yes, but handed creative control entirely to the network. The Star Wars Holiday Special premiered on November 17, 1978. It aired once on CBS before disappearing forever. But that single airing was enough. 10 million households tuned in expecting magic. What they got was something truly inexplicable. The special opens with nearly 10 minutes of unsubtitled Wookiee dialogue, not occasional growls like Chewbacca makes, 10 straight minutes of Wookiees grunting at each other with no subtitles, no context, just the jarring experience of watching Chewbacca's family communicate while viewers have absolutely no idea what's happening. But here's what makes this disaster even more baffling. This wasn't a low-budget fan project. The holiday special had a budget of $1 million, about $5 million in today's money. CBS hired legitimate talent: B. Arthur, Art Carney, Jefferson Starship. Lucas provided access to Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher. On paper, this should have been watchable. The fundamental problem was that nobody understood what made Star Wars work. CBS executives concluded audiences wanted a variety show format, the dominant TV entertainment of the 1970s. They wanted musical numbers, comedy sketches, and celebrity cameos wrapped in a thin Star Wars coating. The result? A grotesque Frankenstein's monster of conflicting tones. Serious Star Wars plot elements like Imperial stormtroopers searching for rebels, awkwardly jammed between B. Arthur singing a love song to alien bar patrons and a cooking show featuring a four-armed chef preparing Bantha surprise. Mark Hamill later revealed that he, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher were contractually obligated to appear. They weren't given scripts in advance. They showed up, read lines off cue cards, and left, having no idea what the final product would look like. Harrison Ford pleaded with Lucas to keep his footage out. Lucas told him it was out of his hands. But the most infamous segment is genuinely disturbing. About 40 minutes in, Chewbacca's father, named Itchy, yes, actually, puts on a virtual reality headset. We then watch Diane Carroll appear as a holographic fantasy woman who sings suggestively to this elderly Wookiee while he makes pleasure sounds. This actually happened in a Star Wars property on network television during family viewing hours. Hidden within this disaster is one legitimately significant piece of Star Wars history: the first ever appearance of Boba Fett, introduced in an animated segment that's actually well-crafted and tonally consistent. This 9-minute cartoon is genuinely good, featuring exciting action and real character development. But here's what most people don't know. That cartoon wasn't originally intended for the holiday special. It was a standalone project to test audience reaction before Boba Fett's live-action debut in Empire Strikes Back. CBS demanded it be included after executives realized they'd created something unwatchable. The critical reviews were universally savage. The Washington Post called it the worst 2 hours of television ever broadcast. But the real damage was internal. The holiday special directly influenced Lucas's decision to maintain fierce creative control over all future Star Wars projects. When CBS approached him about a sequel the following year, he refused. When they offered more money, he refused again. George Lucas has stated that if he had the time and resources, he would track down every existing copy and smash them with a sledgehammer. This isn't hyperbole. It's a direct quote from one of the most successful filmmakers in history about his own project. Film editor Paul Hirsch, who won an Academy Award for editing the original Star Wars, was brought in to salvage the special. He's described watching the raw footage and repeatedly asking producers, "What is this supposed to be?" Nobody could give him a straight answer. So is the Star Wars Holiday Special actually the worst Star Wars movie ever made? Technically, it's a TV special, but that feels like a dodge. The prequels have defenders, the sequels have passionate defenders and detractors, but the Holiday Special has no defenders. Even the most completist Star Wars fans describe it as an endurance test. It aired once and has never been officially released since. It exists now through bootleg recordings traded among collectors who want to experience the train wreck for themselves. The Holiday Special's legacy is paradoxical. It's the worst thing to ever bear the Star Wars name, yet it fundamentally shaped how Star Wars would be protected for decades. It introduced Boba Fett, one of the franchise's most enduring characters. It's officially buried, yet remains one of the most talked about pieces of Star Wars media. Sometimes the worst disasters teach the most valuable lessons. The Holiday Special taught Hollywood that beloved franchises aren't indestructible, that audiences can tell the difference between genuine creativity and corporate exploitation, and that some things, once seen, can never be unseen, no matter how hard you try to erase them.